2017, we passed tax reform. I included in the opportunity zones, $75 billion, real money, to the most distressed communities in this nation. How did that happen? Well, me and President Trump had a serious disagreement on his comments after Charlottesville. He, being a person that I was not looking forward to having a conversation with, invited me to the Oval Office. I sat down, Ben, and I said, "What do you want to talk about?" The president said, "Tell me about your perspective on racial history." I was stunned, because if you know President Trump, like I know President Trump, his love language is not words of encouragement. It just ain't. I know ain't a word, but it's not. But he listened. And at the end of our conversation, he simply said, "Tell me how to help those I've offended." I didn't know what to say, so I pulled out my back pocket and got opportunity zones. I didn't go in there prepared for him to listen. That's not supposed to be funny, but it is. I mean, I didn't expect him to listen, but he did. He listened, he leaned in, and he said, "Tell me how to help the folks I have offended." I said, "Well, let's work on opportunity zones together." He said, "Yes." I was like, "What?" He said, "Yes." He was concerned enough about the communities he had literally just offended. He was concerned enough to go to work on their behalf, and that's why we have opportunity zones. I was like, "Well, this might work again." So I went back to the president and said, "You know, there's a lot of work that needs to be done around the HBCUs, historically black colleges and universities." He said yes. He said yes. We said yes. And let me just say this. When we started saying yes, we control the White House, we control the Senate, and we control the House. So it wasn't because some Democrat came over here and said, "You got it. In order to get our votes, you got to do this." That's not what happened. He said yes because the Republican Party said yes. We stood together with all three levers of government under our control. We got opportunity zones done. We started the process of reinvesting in historically black colleges and universities, and the head of the United Negro College Fund said at my last fly-in that this is a record level of funding ever. His words, not mine. I'm not sure what ever is. Maybe that's longer than I've been alive. Literally more money for HBCUs ever. Brought to you by the Republican Party. I said, "Well, if that's working, let's do it again." So we went to stem cell research, stem cell research for sickle cell anemia, which is 100%, basically speaking, 99.95% African-American disease. He said yes. Lamar Alexander, the head of the chairman of our HELP committee, we were fighting over funding for HBCUs. We made it permanent funding for the HBCUs, led by a Republican chairman of the Education Committee. President Trump signs it. We have delivered historic funding and permanent funding for HBCUs. Now, I'm not going to go to the because I'm running out of time. I'm not going to go to the pre-pandemic numbers in minority communities for unemployment. Unemployment not only at a record low, but we had labor force participation rates increasing. Let me say that differently. Not only did we get more jobs for black folks and brown folks, the number of folks in the community started having an increase in the number of folks working. This is called basic conservative politics. It works. 7 million new jobs. 2/3 went to African Americans, Hispanics, and women. In a full economy, all boats started rising. Don't believe me? Check your accounts. That's what it looks like.